I don't want fruits and veggies. What I really need is 2 gay dads to blow my back out good and hard into next Monday.
48 minutes of dogs barking. 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 Growl. Growl. 48 minutes of dogs barking. 48 minutes of dogs barking.
I was guilty of only nutting. Folks, I offered her a towel. She said, thank you. This country is going to the dogs.
So he's already... Donald Trump, by the way, guilty all 34 counts.
34 in a row?
34 in a row. My favorite story to come out of this, this is the New York Post. Chaos outside the courthouse as Trump flasher rips a sign out of protesters' hands. Here's people reacting to the verdict and going a little nuts. And then this lady here in the MAGA hat is arguing with a counter-protester with a T-shirt on that says Trump lies all the time. She rips the sign. And then they get into a bit of a scuffle.
Well, this is like some high school shit.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's my Bath and Body Works fucking lotion.
And then, yeah. Germanata flashed her breasts at the man and yelled, transsexuals for Trump.
Hell yeah. I'm starting to think he's not guilty. Yeah, you can use those things to fucking crush cans down at the fucking recycling center.
Germanata, a self-described sexy 42-year-old transsexual who likes Trump, was among 20 supporters, including New York City's famed Times Square naked cowboy.
Oh yeah, you didn't know that? You didn't know that guy was pilled?
I forgot that he was pilled, yeah.
He was like a QAnon guy for a minute.
And a really funny blurring job by the New York Post. They just kind of sort of blurred it a little bit.
Just really the well, in the thumbnail here for the tweet, a little bit more generous with the mosaicing. But yeah, the stuff in the actual article is just like, yeah, he's got the nipples pretty much.
Yeah, it was whatever. They had to beat getting scooped on the the flashing. A lot of great replies about Trump's verdict. Ed Zitron, of course, probably the best of them all. He's got several of them, but my favorite one is, great. Everyone's making fun of a neurodivergent entrepreneur. Very mature, you guys.
Fart here. Donald Trump, sir, due to recent behavior, I believe you may be suffering from undiagnosed ADHD and or imposter syndrome. I recommend you watch Bo Burnham's Inside ASAP.
Rory Blank, former guest of the show. All my life I've dreamed of seeing a president get convicted of something, anything really. What a thrill. Dreams really do come true. And of course, someone resurrected the old JF from Your Kickstarter Sucks. Well, I'd like to see old Donnie Trump wriggle his way out of this jam. Trump wriggles his way out of the jam easily. Ah, well, nevertheless, tweets. So, maybe time to retire that one. Let's see here. Yeah, Ed's trying again. Google search of who Donald Trump, House of Decline. Drawing Jeff Tiedrick having his brain explode.
Yo, what the fuck?
And Joshua P. Hill, read Let This Radicalize You. Running political prisoners ads. You can't make this shit up. And yeah, so
folks, have you heard of the prison industrial complex? It's a terrible, terrible thing. Yeah. And you're never going to hear about it more than from me and my campaign.
That's right. Let's see, at SLC logging out. Don't hit me up. Real friends know what's wrong. / streaks, and it's got a really awkward photo of Donald Trump, but it looks like it's on Snapchat. And then The Onion, the best headline: Trump executed. There is no article. It's just the headline. I had to click through to make sure they didn't sit there writing something. And it was published March 23rd of last year.
Amazing. That's so good. That's the shit I fucking crave. I think the only thing left for him to do is to get COVID.
Yeah, that's what you were saying via text with me earlier. Like, oh man, he should just get COVID again. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, it would just be a nice little bow,
a little button. Yeah, just kind of.
Because that really was like. I I think one of the last times we all really on the internet just kind of like came together was like watching him struggling to breathe on the mezzanine at the White House after getting off Marine One. Just
Like, and then hearing the story about him going out like Stan Chera,
my God, like Stan Chera.
The phrase "going out like Stan Chera" has stuck in my brain ever since. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out like Stan Chera. I don't know who Stan Chera is. Honestly, it's probably an old friend of his.
Real estate guy. I think he might have gotten laced up with like some corruption charges or something like that.
Okay,
but he's like someone that would have run in some of the same like real estate circles as Trump, like back in the 80s, I believe.
I think he died of COVID-19.
And he died of COVID. He got the fucking bug.
Yep.
Vaccine.
April. Yeah,
it was before the
That's
vaccine.
Right. It wasn't.
Operation Warp Speed wasn't quick enough to save old Stanley Chera.
Old Stan. I'm sorry, we didn't introduce the show. It's 48 Minutes Dogs Barking. My name's Jason. This
We're
is Brian.
just too excited.
So it's like Christmas Day.
We're libtarded up in here right now.
We are.
I'm with her.
I'm breaking out all my art.
Thank you for being here, Jason.
Yes, of course, and sharing this space with me.
I mean, you were supposed to be like, I live here.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? Thanks for being here.
Okay, shit.
He lives here.
Now I've really done it. No, I was like, I'm getting on my my RGB.
We hear
stuff.
you. We see you, Jason.
Exactly. I got my RGB collar on. I'm crossing my arms.
Your doilies. Your Trump Conda forever.
Yeah. I'm doing the whole bit. I'm yelling about Kofefe in my backyard.
Kofefe.
Just
Bigly.
Bigly, yeah. Oh boy.
I've got great brain, folks.
Well, Joe Biden had a weird week to begin with. This bit here from Stephen Colbert's Late Show is probably the most cringe thing you're going to hear on the show so far. I don't know. We'll see.
Skibidi Biden.
Skibidi Biden. Skibidi Biden. Skibidi Biden. Joe. Skibidi Biden. Hitler's language. Trump is using Hitler's language. Trump is using Hitler's language.
Yes,
Fuck, I hate that.
Yeah, that's a really awful skibbity toilet, but with Joe Biden's head on it. It's only 19 seconds, but it feels like an eternity.
It really,
it's painful.
I think of, I was listening to one of the latest episodes of Retronauts where they were talking about Final Fantasy Rebirth and just like, wow, yeah, it's like 8 hours, and I feel like I'm really not in that far, and I'm thinking like, that's probably like a joyful 80 hours.
Yeah.
Probably feels like it goes by a lot quicker than 19 seconds of this fucking derivative fucking bullshit. I think Stephen Colbert has not been funny for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been insufferable way. You know what? Maybe the reason why David Letterman was funny was because David Letterman was also kind of a piece of shit.
Right, kind of an asshole.
Yeah. Like, I don't think, like, I wouldn't expect, like, David Letterman to come visit me in the hospital if I was his friend.
Yeah.
I expect him to, like, send me something nice.
Sure.
Like, maybe
fruit
give me
basket.
a call. But that guy, I wouldn't expect him to go out. If he did, that'd be nice. But, like, it's not expected.
Right.
Stephen Colbert seems like if I told him, God, man, I have diarrhea. He's like, oh, man, when's the funeral? Oh, no, yeah, man, I just got water coming out my ass. Like, I'm good. I'm just like, I had some Jack in the Box.
Right. Yeah, this is not good.
The Jack in the Box hit me like a perk, got me sweating. Anyways, I see here we've got Google AI said to put glue in pizza. So I made a pizza with glue in it by K. Natopoulos.
Yeah, Katie Natopoulos,
I don't know.
former BuzzFeed writer.
Katie over at Business Insider.
Yeah, Business Insider picked her up, and thank goodness.
She's a treat. Everything she writes, very funny.
Absolutely. And so yes, this article, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there's some choice bits of it. As some of you may know, the Google AI overview was added to Google search, and SGRO1 at Heaven Rend on Twitter posted this, and it was a search for cheese not sticking to pizza, and the AI overview result offered a few options to try to help this person in need. The first one was mix in sauce. Mixing cheese into sauce helps add moisture to the cheese, dry out the sauce. Okay. But the second one is you can also add about 1/8 cup of non-toxic glue to the sauce to give it more tackiness. Obviously, this is a bad idea and you shouldn't do it.
Yeah,
that goes without saying. Don't put glue in your food. But Katie, being the internet weirdo that she is, decided that this was the thing that she was going to do. So then she takes us through the process. And straight up went and got the pizza dough, sauce, and a thing of washable school glue.
Nice. She got Cabot.
Yep, the
mozzarella.
Cabot mozzarella is really great. The classic cut especially, I like that. And even the Francesco Rinaldi marinara, it's not a bad sauce. It's essentially what the Aldi's house brand sauce is. It's basically the same stuff. It's that same it's the same bottle. And so, yeah, here's a photo. 2 tablespoons of white non-toxic glue, adding it to the sauce. I imagine the amount would be more of a light drizzle, she writes. But 1/8 cup is 2 tablespoons, and it looked like quite a bit more than I had expected. I didn't notice a significant change in the consistency. It came out a nice orange color like vodka sauce. Ooh, boy. And she makes it with the cheese and the fresh basil there.
That doesn't look like a bad little hand-tossed pie.
$4.50 for 12 minutes, which is too long. She's right. I do $3.75 for 12 minutes, but that's me.
Yeah, look at that cheese. It's just
it's a little burnt. It's a little burnt.
I mean, that's how my mom likes it.
Yeah,
And some people, in certain cheeses and certain pizzas you can bake in the oven, I find with a little bit of char.
Yeah, if you burn a little bit of Provel, for example, that's not the end of the world. But
that because you're still gonna get a little bit of that, which has caramelized.
Yes, it's a crust. There's a little crust that happens. It's like a little brown crunchiness that it works on some pizzas. Mm-hmm. So it depends on the cheese. Burnt mozzarella, not a fan. But again, to each their own.
Sure.
But every image is accompanied with, I can't emphasize enough, don't do this at home.
It doesn't look like a terrible piece of pizza.
It really doesn't.
It looks like something I would have made like half drunk.
Yeah, or you forgot about it and left it in the oven. You left it in the oven too long.
Oh, shit.
Man. So here's a 13-second video of her trying it. Oh, it's good, she says.
Well, I mean, it's not toxic glue. Like if she was using like rubber cement or something, I imagine it'd be an issue. However, yeah, what the just fucking disgusting, really, on some level. But
so she writes, my verdict, this wasn't the best homemade pizza I've had. I couldn't necessarily tell whether the glue was the problem or that the cheap jarred sauce could have used a little bit more seasoning. In the marinara's defense, it's hard to complain about taste when you add glue, but also it was kind of okay. I only had a few bites because I was afraid about poisoning myself. But most importantly, did the glue keep the cheese from sliding off? You bet it did. And then an accompanying video, cheese ain't moving. And what does all this mean? For me personally, this means that I'm an idiot who eats glue. What does it mean for Google in the future of AI-powered search? These goofy AI answers are funny, but apparently rare. A Google spokesperson did say to Business Insider, the examples we've seen are generally very uncommon queries and aren't representative of most people's experiences. The vast majority of AI overviews provide high-quality information with links to dig deeper on the web. But still, Google AI spits out wild answers often enough that it's reasonable to say that there's a user mistrust of AI-powered answers, for now. The pizza glue controversy is silly. No one with 3 brain cells would actually do this, but we can assume that AI also gives answers that are less obviously wrong, but still wrong. And then she reports that the origin of the pizza glue joke was a joke made on Reddit 11 years ago. And since Google's AI search is based on Reddit, ta-da!
Friend of the show and a future guest.
Yes.
Again.
We'll be speaking to him next.
Quadruple crown.
No, this will be a 5-timer. He'll be
5-timer shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'd be Ed Zitron.
That'd be Ed Zitron on his podcast, which is wonderful, by the way.
Oh, Better Offline. Yes.
Better Offline. The most recent episode is,
yes.
I believe, titled something along the line, AI is ruining Google search.
Mm-hmm.
And he has really just been fucking taking Google and Facebook to the goddamn cleaners for the last month and a half here.
Yeah, so much so that if you ask Google who killed Facebook, it spits out the answer from his newsletter.
That's amazing. I love that. So, but he was like discussing the same issue, and then the fact is, like, so you get a less accurate answer on something trivial like this.
Right.
But what if it's a real thing? Like how do you do a tourniquet?
Right. How do you do CPR?
Yeah. It gives you something that's completely fucked, like something that's real, like a real issue that needs a real serious, sincere answer, and it gives you this bullshit. Like, I mean, case in point, this past weekend, you hosted me and my girlfriend for a little birthday barbecue, which was fucking fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
I forget that burgers can taste that good.
It's all down to my sister-in-law, man. That meat is just so good.
It's so fucking good, and the burgers, the ribs.
Yeah, the ribs.
Oh, the ribs.
Yeah.
I could. You're a mensch.
Thank you.
And last year you did the same thing, and I meant to say something on the podcast about it too. Last year,
No, you did. You mentioned it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But just 2 years in a row, just a fantastic.
Well, it's your birthday.
Meal.
I mean, come on.
You. I appreciate it. And the leftovers were fantastic. And everything.
Awesome.
Just Jason is such a great little grill master.
Oh shucks, twerk nothing.
But about halfway through our time over here, we were kind of fucking around with your Alexa, and I was kind of proving the point of like, well, now AI, there's these AI responses that give really insane answers, and I forget what line of thinking I was going through, but there was some that was like hit or miss. I was able to say, is it true that you can keep running off of a cliff without falling as long as you don't look down? And got a response that was like, yes, as long as you don't look down, you can keep running. Yeah. And I remember my girlfriend and your wife being mortified.
What? You did what? Yeah.
And that's because the Alexa, the search that's using, I'm guessing, is just pulling that off of Google.
I would imagine, yeah.
And that was also, just so you know, I'm not so smarty and witty, that was a thing that was going viral over the last week or so.
Yes.
A screenshot of all that, illustrating, like, yes, asking that question and getting this response, like, yes, if you most people can survive about a second, but as long as you keep don't look down, you can keep running off of a cliff.
Oh, and there were some other ones that were obviously fake, like someone saying they're depressed and Google returning a result to like jump off the Golden Gate Bridge. That was fake, but it was amongst these other things, and so it was a little bit difficult to tell, Poe's law and all, but yeah, it definitely has not been a good week for Google. And I have a feeling, just based on what I know from what's coming up on Ed's show, Better Offline, and our future conversation with him, which is coming up next week, it's probably not going to get any better for Google.
No.
They're not having a good week to begin with.
Yeah, I feel like I got some interesting things to discuss with Mr. Zitron next week.
I think we both do, actually, because there's been some real maniac shit happening in Facebook and a bunch of other places and various other tech stories. And
yeah, because first he was just kind of like, he was dipping his toe in, like talking about crypto, some of the more low hanging fruit, and then it's like he got his legs under him, and he's like, all right,
yeah,
time to fucking swing for the fences, and boy, all on the bat.
Yeah, he's batting 1,000 as far as I'm aware. Like, I haven't seen anything from Ed's show that it's not a banger. But yes, that's to look forward to. Mr. Ed will be appearing with us next week. Mr. Ed, not the horse.
Oh, Google search sure is bad.
Mr. Zitron, sorry.
There we go.
Oh boy, I'm sorry. This story has fucked me up. So I've been thinking about it all week. I've been thinking about this because we all kind of are aware in kind of a osmosis style thing about Chris-Chan. Everybody is familiar with Chris-Chan if you listen to the show. We did a Patreon-only episode. It was a very, very early episode about Chris-Chan. The long and short of it is Chris-Chan is an obsessive Sonic fan who created a character named Sonichu and has been relentlessly bullied by the internet for the past 20 years. That's the very, very short version.
It is wild to think it's almost been 20 years. I want to say one started between like 2006 and 2008.
I kind of want to say it was earlier, but I don't want to go again.
Sure. But still, like the fact that it's getting close to 20 years, if it isn't 20 years already, is wow. The most gang-stalked man woman.
Sorry,
in history.
Chris-Chan has recently, within the past couple of years, come out as trans and decided that their name is Christine. But Chris-Chan still is a nice abbreviation because that works either way. It's a gender-neutral name, so that's why I use it. So, the character of Sonichu is steeped in all this lore, right? And one of the things that Chris-Chan is notorious for is also wearing a particular sweater he calls the Classic. It's a blue and red striped sweater with a white collar called the Classic. Around their neck, they wore a medallion that was made with Crayola model magic, and it is in the shape of their OC, their original creation, Sonichu. There has been a resurgence now of Sonichu and the quote-unquote Chris-Chan Medallion being brought up online because someone has received it. This has happened more than once. Someone has received a Chris-Chan/Sonichu medallion in the mail, began to wear it, and then had their life fall apart. They're calling it the Chris-Chan Sonichu Medallion Curse, courtesy of Know Your Meme. It is essentially, it says here, Twitter user Spree Ulade, February 21st of this year, who wrote a response to an image of Nick Recchia, seemingly drunk, saying the Sonichu curse is real, just ask Keffels. So this guy is a YouTuber and lawyer, this Nick Recchia guy. Early 2024, he started doing streams where he was intoxicated. I guess that's the only safe way to put it, allegedly. Mm-hmm. Months earlier, he had received a package containing a cryptic note and what appears to be a Sonichu medallion. Here is him on stream.
I got to this anonymous letter, or the anonymous package. It was postage not paid. Like, I had to pay the postage on it to receive it. And the post office like, well, where was it sent from? And it had my address as the return address with me as the sendee, which is not true. And in it had this burned piece of paper, which I feel like I'm going to get serial rape here. It says, the stars are aligned. A new host is chosen. Hail unto thee, Nick Chan Rakatachu. And then with that came this. And this was so weird because this came before the mention of Sonic in the trademark dispute that we were talking about last night. A Sonichu medallion has been passed to me. I don't know where this came from. I don't know what it means other than what it means, but that is that happened.
Oh man, this is like the Ring.
Yeah, he immediately puts it on. He immediately puts it on upon taking it out of the package. So May 22nd, this past week, user on Twitter at FolderBloat posted a tinfoil hat PayPay meme writing, so let's get this straight. Someone mailed Nick Recchia one of Chris Chan's real Sonichu medallions with a letter stating a new host has been chosen. Nick put on the medallion. Nick then became an alcoholic drug addict. And that's where this whole idea came from. Chris Boers, ghost behaviorist, responded to this a bunch of times. But yes, the Chris-Chan medallion also happened to iDubbbz. Let's see here. Years prior, November 26, 2015, iDubbbz posted a video on YouTube where he unboxes fan mail. In one of the boxes is a replica Sonichu medallion, which he wears in the video.
What the hell? Is this a fucking cookie? Dear Mr. iDubbbz, thank you for making such funny, entertaining videos. I know that I really enjoy them a lot. Ah, that's fucking sweet. In the package, I included a Sonichu medallion that I made. I wore it to a convention where I cosplayed as Chris-Chan. Do you know much of Chris-Chan? Yeah, I know a little bit about Chris-Chan. This was a very good thing.
That guy is dead. He was hit by a steamroller. He had his Beats by Dr. Dre on.
I couldn't hear it.
Couldn't hear it. The guy was laying on the horn. The guy dropped his hoagie and it got stuck in the accelerator and he couldn't brake.
The dog was trying to get it.
The dog was trying to fuck his leg. The dog died too, which is also very sad. That dog was one day from retirement from leg humping.
It's fascinating because this is twice now that this has happened, that someone has received this medallion and then misfortune has befallen them, essentially. I don't know if it's true, but it feels true enough. Speaking of misfortunes, I don't know if that's a really good segue or not, but I'm gonna keep it. The location of the Backrooms has finally been discovered. Yes, we referenced the Backrooms when we talked to Bitter Corella in a previous episode as part of the creepypastas. We were back in October. Twitter user TJXZ_Z announced that someone that they knew made a breakthrough in the long-lasting hunt for where the Backrooms photograph was taken. So, for those of you who didn't catch that episode with Bitter Corella, in brief, the Backrooms is a 4chan shitpost where someone said, imagine if you can no-clip out of reality, you wind up in this place, it's nothing but carpet and the buzz of fluorescent lights, and you can see it sprawling on for eternity, and it's creepy, and maybe there's something in there with you. That's essentially the Backrooms post. Yeah. The nondescript liminal space was yellow wallpaper, carpeted floors, fluorescent lights. Really a nondescript place that could be anywhere, what Zach Parsons might call a liminal space. And so the location of it was kind of in question. Where the hell is this? Did someone Photoshop this? Is this real? And it's been kind of bandied about back and forth online for a long while. And apparently they found this. According to the archived Wayback Machine page from 2003, the photograph was made at a place in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. That was Oshkosh RC Cars Racing Team 2002. They were in the process of converting into an RC car racing track. Most of the images from the page did not survive, but 2 photographs of the East Room, which includes the Backrooms, did survive. And here are the actual photos of it. And it's talking about, here's some of the old pictures.
The fact that it was in Wisconsin and these were photos taken by like I guess like slot car racing guys.
Yeah.
That feels like an upper Midwest thing. Like,
yeah. Yeah. So here's a picture of it as it stands today. And it is very much what you'd expect. It's an RC car track. Some pipes on the ground there. And it's called Revolution Raceway. Yeah, there's another shot of it. There's a fake campgrounds background, so you can take your pictures there.
Nice.
Yeah. The exact address was also found 807 Oregon Street, Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And this is it. This is the blue awning.
Just
and
a bunch of guys just eating, bratwurst with their bare hands. Hey, how's the cheese going?
Hey, you ever wonder about liminal spaces?
Hey, I'm worried how I'm going to drink all this beer.
Exactly right. And the last story I have for you this week is just a bit of a goof. We talked about AI and how Google's being ruined by it. And some people, like this gentleman, Jonathan Ross, think that it's going to go even further than that. At Jonathan Ross 321, prediction: AI will replace social drinking within 5 years. Just as alcohol is a social disinhibitor, like the Steve Martin movie Roxanne. Okay, first of all, that's based on Cyrano de Bergerac, but let's not go there. People will use AI-powered earbuds to help them socialize. At first, we'll view it as creepy, but will quickly become superior to alcohol. Bonus: in 20 years, people will think of drinking as antiquated and as humorous as attending a seance. How did people think this was a good idea? To which I simply responded, come and take it. It's the come and take it flag with the cannon replaced by a Coors Light can. Because, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah.
Humans have been drinking booze ever since we figured out how to make it, which has been a while. I sincerely doubt that AI is going to replace having a hams with your bro on a Thursday night. Sorry, I'm not seeing it.
I don't. Fuck that. All my homies love their alcoholism.
Yeah.
And hate being on the computer. Want to see this turtle I flipped over? Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
absolutely.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. we gonna flip it back over?
Hell no.
Oh, we might.
What's that about my mother? Sorry, the Blade Runner thing. I thought that's where you were going for with the turtle you flipped over.
No, I just thought that's like a shithead thing. Like I flipped over this turtle. You want to see it struggle in the sun?
Oh, okay. Because I was like, that's a question that is asked in the Voight Comp test.
Yeah, this is a Voight Comp. Yeah, is a question.
Oh boy, a couple of nerds over here. Look at the nerds.
Look at the nerds, yeah.
Next, you're gonna tell me you went to the store, the nerd store. Well, here's someone who should have gone to the nerd store. That's right, Caitlyn Jenner. It's Crypto Scam of the Week time.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the Crypto Scam of the Week.
Yeah, I hipped you to this one.
You did, and it became completely insane as the week went on.
Of all of the weird fucking things I've seen in crypto,
yeah,
I have rarely seen something confuse people as much as this.
Yeah. The long and short of it is a Solana coin, Dollar Jenner. So that was the coin name was Jenner, the Jenner token, as it were. And Caitlyn Jenner was on the internet promoting it, doing videos, and this is really me. Here we're gonna
right, and people are like, "Look at the eyebrows! It's a deep fake."
Yeah,
it's like, perhaps Caitlyn Jenner just has really shitty eyebrows,
or perhaps it was taken on a cell phone camera, and that shit makes you look weird to begin with. But yeah, Jenner said online multiple times, "Oh, it's not going anywhere but up," or we're behind this coin, and we're real. I mean, her entire Twitter feed is purely promoting this coin. So, I mean, even earlier yesterday, Jenner is live now on ETH. So they've moved from Solana to ETH. Oh, yeah. And of course, she's a big fan of Donald Trump, so that's not great.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's all in. She's retweeting, Borovic tweets and talking about market caps and like really.
Yeah, because when I showed it to you, it was under 10 mil.
Yeah.
And people I was watching were going back and forth like, is this a top signal?
Oh yeah.
Should we all be taking, like, people are like, I think we should be taking profit right now. Like,
yeah,
this seems too weird. Yeah, one guy in this chat that I lurk in was like, yeah, I'm gonna reduce some of my positions.
I would imagine.
Very
yeah.
politely, I'm gonna close this long here.
Yeah. Caitlyn Jenner's manager, Sophia Hutchins, did confirm multiple times that Jenner was real and the account had not been hacked. And so people went, okay. So people started buying. But unfortunately,
I thought you said that gender was real and that the account had not been hacked.
No, the JennerCoin is real, yes. The account had not been hacked, but some sketchy business happening, which is why it's in the crypto scam of the week, because the Solana coin, Rob, that was, let's see here, a guy named Sahil, who apparently has been a well-known gentleman from India who has previously worked on other coins. According to Decrypt, Caitlyn Jenner launched the Jenner Solana meme coin Sunday through Pump.Fun, which we talked about in a previous episode.
Yes, we did. Interesting. This seems like this is a thing.
It does. 2 days later, the Olympic gold medalist is claiming Sahil Arora, the promoter she worked with, quote, owes her lots of money. So Aurora helped launch the meme coin on Monday. Jenner got in touch to say the crypto promoter owed her a lot of money. Quote, he's gone radio silent after showing a couple of wire transfers, but she didn't stop there. She made her thoughts public. Quote, fuck Sahil, he scammed us big time. Aurora claims to be well connected for celebrities for whom he says he helped launch crypto projects. He claims, for example, Lindsay Lohan, Soulja Boy, Liam Payne from One Direction. But, of course, people are skeptical of this. Caitlyn Jenner adding fuel to this. Despite Jenner's claim that Aurora has gone radio silent, the crypto promoter told Decrypt he's still in touch. I just don't like how she became a key opinion leader, he said. This is likely in response to Jenner promoting another token, BBark, during the launch of Jenner. He quickly confirmed to Decrypt that he had no involvement in BBark, calling it a stupid paid shill. Jenner took down the BBark post, issued an apology, claiming she was, quote, fully focused on the original token. She promised to keep promoting Jenner and said that Aurora is fully out at the moment. Aurora sent a message to Decrypt via Telegram saying, quote, lot coming, keep your eyes peeled. Then
Azalea announced her own token mother, with lots of photos of her disgustingly ill-proportioned BBL. That is a cake I would not want to take a bite of.
After the Solana coin comes out, Aurora takes control of the account, basically dumps. They then launch it on Ethereum. So yeah, Caitlyn, again, Decrypt. Caitlyn Jenner's recently launched Solana meme coin dives 66% in price after the former Olympian announced a new token on Ethereum. This time, she says, with the goal of donating a share of fees to support Donald Trump's presidential efforts. Boy. Essentially, one token got taken over by this shithead, and then Jenner goes, you know what? No, we're doing this on our own. But then it's like,
still shitty. It's still crypto. It's still fucking weird and awful.
Per Aurora himself, he had no part to play in this new token. Quote, she's a greedy granny. He told the Decrypt people via Telegram. An hour later, Jenner took to Twitter Spaces to announce that her new coin has a 3% a tax applied to all transactions, which, once a $50 million market cap is achieved, will be donated to support Donald Trump's presidential campaign via a super PAC. But yeah, her previous token did peak at 42 mil for a market cap.
It's not too bad.
You know, the Ethereum project topped out at 4.75 mil. Not great. Is it a scam? I don't know.
It's all a scam. one way or another, somewhere along the line, someone's going to get tripped up and do something that's legally a huge gray zone, if not already.
I feel like double dipping like this on two different platforms might be in that area. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Everyone claiming that the other one is ripping the other one off, and
well, fuck, man. There's like people are launching tokens on Solana that are just like like fucking MAGA. Now there's MAGA. Someone launched a MAGA 2.0 on Ethereum to piggyback off of the MAGA token on the original, the OG.
Okay.
Because usually you have something that's like meme worthy, so you have like Baby Trump 2.0, or Classic Trump, or something, like shit like that comes out.
Sure.
All these things are destined to fucking make everyone but you money. But people are just like taking stuff that like meme tokens, shit coins from Ethereum, launching it on Sol, and like rugging in like 15 minutes. I've seen charts that like they go up, they go straight down. There's not even like, if you're looking at on like a 15,
there's
like a moment where it's like consolidating or like it's about to double top or something. It literally goes straight up and it goes straight down like a spike.
Kind of like that Save the Children coin.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
That's a personal favorite of mine because it's just baffling.
Sol is just worse, I would say, as far as like scams and the absolute drudgery of degenerate crypto. I would say it's more representative of that than Binance's smart chain was. And the stuff that I'm not even paying attention to crypto all that much for talking shit with you about this.
Yeah.
But I still get enough wind of it to be like, God, that's stinky.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit that just, you look at it and you go, what the fuck is this? But this one especially, when you brought this to my attention, I was like, okay, there's something weird going on here. And sure enough, within a couple days, boy, it blew up, and then it went down. There was all this drama, and they relaunched a new token. And it's just, and adding this whole Trump thing to it. Caitlyn Jenner is a reality TV person. Caitlyn Jenner is an attention hound. That this is kind of like her whole deal. She's been a Trump person since day one for some ungodly reason. I really don't get it. Her support of Trump, I mean, and this whole proceeds from this coin are going to the Trump Defense Fund. Mysteriously silent about that after the verdict today, about the crypto part, I mean.
Do you think the kid in the wheelchair from the Burger King Kids Club, do you think he's killed himself?
Jesus Christ. Where did that come from? What the fuck?
Just thinking.
So, to be clear.
How do you think he did? What do you think he wheeled himself off of? Like a really high ledge, or just like straight into the ocean? Like
the
off
ocean.
A pier?
I mean, really off a pier. I mean, that would be, were I in that position, it would be off a pier.
And here's the real tiebreaker question.
Yeah.
Do you think he swallowed a bunch of sleeping pills beforehand?
Oh, to make sure? I don't know. No, to be clear, we're talking about a cartoon character, right? He's an animated character.
Right. Well, he's real to me.
Okay, but principle of the thing is the same.
Because of my autism.
Sure, the principle of the thing is the same. He is still an animated character. I'm going to... Sure, why not? For the sake of not having an argument, yeah, sure. Well, it's time to talk about our...
Go for a Whopper right now.
Yeah,
well, I would push someone off a pier for a Whopper.
You think they should do that? Bring the what would you do for a Klondike bar back, but do it for a Whopper? Like, what would you do? Oh, didn't they do that?
I can't remember.
They did like the Whopper challenge, or what would you do?
I don't know.
They should do that, but with higher stakes. Like, would you commit arson for a Whopper?
Arson. Would you commit mail fraud?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
absolutely,
yeah. A double Whopper. You got to give me the extra meat if I'm doing crimes, because I might not get a good burger for a while. But it's time for the main topic of the show, Brian. This week we wanted to talk about, kind of like we've been talking about the past couple of weeks, about platforms. We've been talking about Black Sheep and FARC and all those things. And so this was a bit different. This was a platform specifically for chatting with people. That's right. ICQ.
I didn't realize this was an Israeli company.
Yes, originally developed by the Israeli company Mirabilis in 1996. ICQ is supposed to sound like I seek you. Like, I'm looking for you, the person, which always brings to mind that old website of the guy, I kiss you.
I kiss you.
Yeah. But ICQ, yeah, it was a whole chat thing. Written in C++, which is obviously not easy to do. A lot of people can't do it. Writing something from scratch like this, not an easy task, especially in 1996. They went through a bunch of changes, not the least of which was in 1998 when they got bought by AOL.
Yeah, I didn't know that ICQ was owned by AOL. It's very interesting.
What made ICQ unique was essentially an early version of cloud synchronization. They were able to, no matter where you signed in on, you're able to get your chat history. That's a common feature now, but again, 96, this was... But they also introduced things like chats with insane numbers of users. This here, according to Wikipedia, lists chats could take place of up to 25,000 participants at the same time, which to me feels like way too many fucking people. I get on Discords with more than 100 people and I feel like I can't keep up.
Oh,
25,000? But man, they made it for every platform available. Here was this piece according to a writer on Medium at Dimitri O Photo. Here's some great screenshots. Thank you, Dimitri, for this, because this is the Apple II version. Okay? We're talking ancient. December 97, the client app for Windows 3.1, 95, NT, and Macintosh. And it said total users exceeded 5 million people with a daily audience of 1.3 million. More than 300,000 could be online simultaneously.
That was massive. It's how I communicated with my brother and sister for a while, like in the early days of the internet when they were no longer living in St. Louis. My brother was off in San Francisco, or my sister was living in Colombia. You know, I'd be at my dad's on the weekend. That's how we would talk, through ICQ.
Yeah.
It was one of the first things I learned how to use on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. For a lot of people, it was the stuff that AOL bought, ICQ4, which was AOL Instant Messenger. But this was here in its purest form. Because, boy, away messages, that was a big one. You could set yourself an away message. Mm-hmm. Most people I knew stuck to, Jimmy Eat World song lyrics and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you'd get an alert when people were online. And not the door. It's uh-oh is when you got a message. Uh-oh is when you got a message.
But the door creak was when someone signed on or something.
Yeah, and you could set yourself as, do not disturb. There's a lot of things that we take for granted in like modern chat that were innovated by ICQ. Here's another one. Find random chat partner. You could click a button and find a random person to chat with. So architecturally, it was based on stuff from peer-to-peer and also client-server architectures, which peer-to-peer, most people think of things like Napster. Peer-to-peer at the time was things like, I don't know, FTPs or wasn't SoulSeek, it wasn't LimeWire. But anyway, the principle of the thing is the same, is that you're in a distributed network with
like an
other
FTP
people.
almost.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah. The big thing here is, what I found interesting, is that they didn't do encryption. It was just...
Fuck it.
Yep. Yeah, here it says, frankly speaking, the first few versions were actually sieve-like. By the time we had issued ICQ 99B, a fifth protocol version was already in use. We should note that the very first protocol was not publicly available. And then it gives the code. Data encryption appeared in that version. And now you've got a bit more complexity, but people really love to use it. It was easy.
Yeah.
You signed up, you got yourself an ICQ number.
Yeah.
And if you were early on, because it started at 1.
Yeah.
Right? So by the time I got to it, I think I had an 8-digit number.
I think my brother was obviously pretty hip to this stuff. He got my dad hip to it, and I believe the ICQ client at my dad's house was a 5-digit.
Oh, okay. Relatively early on, yeah. But yeah, so the reason we're talking about ICQ is that it is now dead. ICQ breathed its last. May 24th, the main page announced the service will shut down June 26th. It's not shut down yet, but it will be very soon.
Pour one out.
Yeah, exactly right.
Wow, I can't believe it survived as long as it did. It outlasted AIM, and AIM was, I think, immensely more popular.
Oh, very much so. I still remember some AIM names of people that that I haven't talked to in like 20 years. Yeah.
Oh, I can remember a couple off the top of my head of like people I still talk to, and I bet if I told them like, "Hey, remember your AIM username was such and such," they would probably be like,
"Oh my god!" Yeah.
They would probably be like, "Yo, man, what's going on with your brain?"
Well, that too. Yeah, sure. But
like, I got a wife and kids now, and like, well, remember you stole the back off of that chair in science class, and you wrote your AIM handle on it, and you put it over your door frame in your bedroom.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it was pretty cool.
According to TechSpot, ICQ outlasted every one of its competitors. AIM shut down 2017. Yahoo's communications bit the bullet mid-2018, and Microsoft closed Messenger 2014. That is very, very impressive, especially considering AOL paid them $287 million in 1998.
Oh, wow. That's quite a bit of money.
Contingency payments that started in fiscal 2001 reportedly totaled an additional $120 million, pushing the total value of the deal to over $400 million. Now, as you said, AIM, America Online, would basically blow ICQ's user base numbers out of the water, saying that they had 100 million registered users by 2001. But then, very bizarre, AOL offloaded ICQ to a Russian investments firm called Digital Sky Technologies, also known as Mail.ru, which is now known as VK, for $187 million.
Huh.
Yeah. ICQ, obviously, no longer in the App Store or the Google Play Store. The last version release for them was 2002. Everything has been moved to the VK Messenger platform instead. Some may be surprised, says TechSpot, to learn that ICQ was still operating, although it was no longer under active development. In its years, the platform shifted its focus towards desktop and included a web version that runs in browsers. So the latest version for desktop, April 2003. Let's see.
Looking fairly modern.
Yeah. It had things like maps and video chat, group calls, and filters, and all sorts of stuff that you'd basically expect from a modern chat app.
Yeah. I'm sure it actually probably had some really interesting features, but who's going to download a proprietary app when they have Facebook Messenger and so on?
Well, exactly right. Yeah, I think that the novelty for ICQ was that it was at the right place at the right time. At that time, it was them and AOL. That was it. So if you didn't already have AOL as your internet provider, well, your option was ICQ or MIRC, but Merc was kind of hard to learn. ICQ also got probably the first mobile version before AIM even thought of that.
Oh, and like what, Newton?
Palm Pilot.
Fuck.
Yeah. Now this here is the the Palm Pilot screenshot there.
Selling Oxycontin on my Palm Pilot. Chicken sandwiches, they cost $1.
What? Who is that? I don't remember.
Racist.
Okay. All right.
Brand new dance.
Oh, yeah. Okay. God
Give
damn.
me all your money.
Yeah, jeez.
Everybody love it. God, that record's so good. Have you listened to that recently?
Oh, not in a long time.
Oh,
no.
man. Fucking, well, you should go.
I know, yeah. When we're done tonight.
When the kids are in bed and you and the wife are about to get absolutely toasted off a 1 milligram gummy.
Yeah. Exactly right. You're not wrong. So, yeah, here's Ars Technica did a bit of a farewell with some of their writers talking about their memories of using ICQ. Here's Samuel Axon, the senior editor. Those of us who used it might still remember our ICQ numbers. There weren't usernames, but instead something closer to a phone number, like we mentioned before. And he drops his ICQ numbers. He signed up because he was playing an online game, Meridian 59, and its community largely used ICQ for out-of-game communication. He also met his girlfriend in high school. Springfield, Missouri, a local boy-ish. It was the first thing I could think of in my life that resembled Facebook-style social networking, and it was my first experience with anything resembling online dating. She found my profile, I sounded cool to her, and she messaged me. I kept using ICQ for years to communicate with my friends in the MUD and game development communities before other services took over in the 2000s. I probably held on longer than most. Frankly, I miss that messaging sound. It was an odd choice, but for me, it's iconic.
Yeah, it's fucking burned in my head. That was like one of the things I said to you.
Yeah.
When we were first discussing this. Like, man, I still, yeah, it's fucking stuck in my head. Like, I will probably think about that soundbite for as long as I live.
Yeah, it's like a 3-second bit. I'll drop it in the episode right here.
Amazing.
That is the sound of progress. Like an anime character.
Yeah.
Or some really cute kids cartoon character about a bee that like pooped its pants or something. You know, something that like Maria Bamford would drop into a set or something.
Yeah.
Back at Ars Technica, Benji Edwards, AI and machine learning reporter. Oh boy. When ICQ came out in 1996, my best friend, who was in college at the time, told me to sign up for it. I remember being proud of getting my ICQ ID number. Also, the ICQ sound effects were cool. I also remember using it to keep up with a few friends I met in Ultima Online around 1997 to 99 so we could plan visits to dungeons together. RIP ICQ, you were a pioneer who will be missed. So yeah.
Fuck, man, Ultima Online.
Well, I mean, it's since been replaced by, obviously, Trello came along, Ventrilo, Discord, a number of things that were voice specific. I know Discord has a heavy text base.
Vent was actually really interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Were you a Vent user?
I used it for a little bit. The one summer I played World of Warcraft in between semesters, and then I realized, like, I'm done. I'm done. I've scratched my MMO itch, and I'm seeing what's doing to other people that I'm playing with.
Yeah. That was a rough time when WoW was fresh.
And also being in a FIAD vent group for a long time and finding out that like a somewhat prominent FIAD poster and then Twitter personality for a number of years was like just like a raging alcoholic that lived in his mom's basement in like the middle of nowhere, like Iowa or Kansas or something. But it was still funny because it's like, what's up, drunkie?
Yeah. But it was surpassed by any number of apps. I mean, I feel like with all the different stuff that I talked about, and that it added video chat, and it added they were trying to play catch up for something that they basically invented, an instant messenger. And again, 4 students created it out of nothing.
Yeah, it's really impressive. But this was also the era where innovation like that wasn't uncommon to come from, a couple of young people that had like a good idea and like the time and the resources to think outside of the box. You can go read like Douglas Rushkoff's Siberia, which was his first book, which deals with a lot of really early internet culture. It's a very interesting piece of literature.
Yeah.
So much of what we take for granted were people that were thinking outside of what IBM was providing. People that were doing DMT and going to raves.
Yeah.
It is so weird to think that so much of what we take for granted and what we hold in our hands when we're checking a Facebook message about like, hey man, you going to the show, right?
Yeah.
Like so much that we owe to a guy that was really into like the Grateful Dead and doing DMT on his lunch break at Sun Microsystems in like 89.
Right. And it's even funnier is these guys originally used ICQ. While they were working on ICQ, was their initial plan, again, Ars Technica, their initial plan was to launch a service that would make checking beeper messages easier.
That's fuck. Damn.
And so
it feels like we're just discovering fire.
Yeah, beeper messages. Oh man. So in the process of creating that, they invented ICQ to keep in contact while working on the beeper message project. Like it was a byproduct of something completely different. That's like
fucking amazing.
That's like if you were working on a new tank for the army and you accidentally invented the car.
Right. Or you're trying to find a way to not lose your car keys and you somehow invent like a new pacemaker.
Right. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, it says the creators of ICQ were getting frustrated they weren't seeing each other's online messages. They developed ICQ as a way to communicate from their homes while collaborating on the now pointless Beeper project. And, I mean, shit, Facebook Messenger. You and I pretty much communicate exclusively there.
There's a couple people in my life we pretty much exclusively communicate. Like if I get like a text from them, like from the phone.
Yeah, you're worried that something's
Hey,
wrong.
what's up, man?
Yeah.
You good?
You doing
like,
all right?
You need me to pick you up from somewhere? What's going on? like truly concerned.
Is she pressing charges? What the fuck? Yeah, that kind of. Anyway.
No one's gonna fucking lie about my cousin.
Right. But even MySpace had direct messaging. You know what I mean? Like there's so much of the legacy built into this thing and this asynchronous communication. I mean, even SMS came after.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. You got to really figure there are so many things that owe a debt to ICQ. I mean, obviously ICQ is probably built on the backs of internet relay chat and those kind of things, but ICQ itself as a concept, kind of in the popular imagination, at least amongst those of us who were online in 97, 98, paved this huge way. And I don't think beyond the AOL buyout, they've really gotten their due. You know what I mean?
Right. It was so innovative and forward thinking. I think perhaps what we're kind of the thought we're kind of circling around here is that the technology was good, but the presentation was, you had to be kind of a nerd.
Yeah, it was definitely not easy to use.
I still don't know how my dad figured it out.
At least in setting yourself up and getting a number and doing all that. But if you knew someone's number, you could find them. You know, if there have been other products since then that have made this a lot more frictionless, a lot of social medias, a lot of things like that have superseded it in a number of ways. But the basis, man, the core idea is super solid, and it's insane. It's 4 people, you know, just while they're working on something else.
Yeah, and they create something that just changes the course of the internet.
I mean, that's just still the part that's like getting to me. Is like, well, we were working on something else, but
They were high school kids.
yeah. Anyway, that's. Do you have any fond ICQ memories, Brian?
Just talking with my brother and being a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Just being like a real indoor kid. And my brother telling me about, but yeah, him just being like, yeah, I think he had like a garden department, and he was telling me about how it flooded.
Oh no.
But he's like, it's okay. I used like the insurance money because he had apartment insurance. He's like, I used the insurance money to buy a snowboard, so I'm getting into snowboarding, which I think lasted for a couple of years. My brother also infamously a bit of an indoor kid. I think he enjoys snowboarding, but man, it's a lot of effort.
Oh yeah.
I'm not necessarily saying like the effort of like snowboarding, just getting there and having the gear. A few people have told me it's like, yeah, I love it, but the worst part is getting there to do it. Like getting to the lodge, driving there, all the prep. You get to wear the fucking weird boots, and you get worried about like wearing the tread out on them.
Yeah. It seems like that would be a pain in the ass, to be sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Smoking weed just seems like it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
That's, folks, 48 minutes of dogs barking promise. Smoking weed's a lot easier. You want to be the next president?
Than most things, yeah.
You want to be the next president? You know what? Set your sights a little bit lower and see if you can finish this blunt.
Hit this, bitch. So, unfortunately, it did have a couple of things go wrong in the history of it. According to a Novaya Gazeta article published May 2018, Russian intelligence agencies had access to online reading of ICQ users' correspondence during crime investigation. 34 sentences issued by Russian courts. A lot of the evidence was obtained by reading correspondence on a PC or mobile. In 6 of the 14 cases in which ICQ was involved, the capturing of the information occurred before the device was seized. So, because the rival service Telegram blocks all access for the agencies, the advisor of the Russian president, Herman Klemenko, recommended to use ICQ instead. As of last year, an investigation by Brazilian news outlet Nucleojornalismo found that ICQ was used to freely share child porn. So, not great.
It's got to get shared somehow, right?
Boy.
You got to wake up in the morning. I got to get my irredeemable filth across the internet. I'm really glad the ICQ is holding the torch for me.
No more as of next month, but
They'll have to just go back to carrier pigeons.
yeah, those two things not so great. I definitely wouldn't be planning any sort of political action on ICQ because, as we noted, encryption was only added, in the past 15 years or so.
Does not seem viable.
Yeah, not great.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Shock.jpg.
Anywho,
Speaking of filth, what you got for us this week?
oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I've been looking for this one.
I've been looking for a man with certain skills.
Right.
With a certain kind of grit.
This is the Shock.jpg segment of the show. This week's Shock.jpg is a video that was originally hosted by eFucked, but it did have its own website, and that website was called ShakeThatBear.com.
Oh, this
You've seen this. You know
familiar. Let's see. You got the incognito window going.
I just heard my wife wandering by the window. And so it's a hunting video in which you see a...
I know what this is.
yeah.
The dogs are going.
Yep. They've shot and killed a bear. And then the male of the party is having sex with the woman on top of the bear's corpse.
Yeah, he's doing that.
And then he says, shake that bear.
This is really going on for way too. And what a terrible cum shot.
And the last shot of the thing is the dogs just eating the corpse while the sound of the couple fucking continues in the background. And then they drink whiskey. And that's the end of the video. Yeah, that's Shake That Bear, Brian.
I haven't thought about that in like 20 years.
Shake That Bear. It's bizarre. Yeah, we did happen to hit that segment right as all of my fucking family's in the backyard.
Amazing.
Amazing timing. Couldn't have done it better if I planned it that way. Hopefully just no one looked this direction for that time.
Yeah, no one saw that terrible, just watery cum shot. After all of that, it's not even shooting 3 ropes.
Well, I mean, look, you're fucking on top of a dead bear.
Can't give me the excuses cold out.
I try to stay away from like the animal cruelty ones, but this one is seared into my brain. I saw this.
Weird.
I saw this. It was a Style Project link that linked to eFucked, and I had forgot.
Really, just like the 1-2 punch of gross internet shit.
Oh, absolutely.
All it's missing is rotten.
It was one of those things. I saw it as a young man, and I had forgotten all about it. And then somebody said something. I don't even remember out of context what it was, but it was something about shake that bear. And my mind, I had that moment, that Proustian moment of like, oh shit, I've seen this. I know what they're referring to. Shake that bear. And I was like, I gotta find this fucking website. So yes, it was hosted on eFuck, but it was also had its own URL. It was shakethatbear.com. I don't know. Like, the bear's dead. Like, what is it?
I don't know, man. Europeans or Eastern Europeans.
Yeah, I don't
Kind
know.
of hard. Sounds Russian.
Yeah.
Aren't the Russians supposed to be ones that are like in tune with nature in the way the rest of us aren't?
Supposedly, according to, I don't know,
Felix Biederman.
Well, if he's who you're going to for that sort of.
But you see so many
information,
videos online of like Russian people or Eastern European people just like hanging out with wild animals and like seeming like there's not a problem going on here.
I don't know the exact origins of the video. My initial searches were very fruitless as opposed to like where this happened or where it came from. But I mean, their English is not accented, so I don't think it's necessarily Eastern European. I think it was just a bear in a cold place because they're both wearing the big puppy jackets and it's so abrupt. It's so odd. There's like we shot into a tree. You don't see the bear fall, but then there's a shot of the bear that's dead.
Oh, you see the bear fall.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I must have. Okay, it must have been like in the background. It's not as clear as, I don't know if you've seen the one where they shoot the bear off the power line. It's not nearly that clear. Yeah. But then it's just cuts straight to the fucking. I'm like, wait, I don't remember hearing you say, and now we're gonna fuck on the bear or something. I think that's the shock part of it. It's not so much the weak cum shot.
The shocking part is the weak cum shot to me. Everything else is par for the course of human terror and disgustingness.
I guess the 5 dogs tearing apart the bear at the end was also shocking. because that's also just a hard cut to that.
Sure, yeah.
And him saying during the fucking that like we got to be quiet because the dog people are going to hear us. Who thinks of this? The hunters that I know would definitely not fuck on their kills. Now, granted, the hunters that I know hunt deer, but still, the principle is the same.
Maybe these people are free thinkers and they're not bound by the petty morality of of the hunter bourgeoisie.
I see. All right. Well, maybe I'm the priggish, stick in the mud prude guy here.
Yeah, I think you just need to loosen up there, Daddy-O.
Entirely possible. I thought I was trying over these these years doing this show.
Square.
I know. What is happening?
Almost episode 100, and you still ain't figured it out.
I know. Well, at some point, I'm going to learn. Well, while I contemplate that, let's go to the breath mint.
It's time for your mom's favorite part of the show. It's time for the breath mint.
Everyone's mom's favorite part of the show.
Everyone's mom's favorite part of the show.
Every show. So, Brian, what you been up to this week?
Trying to finish moving into this fucking house.
Right. Yeah, he comes over with a box of things.
Yeah, it's for things I hate.
Oh no, I was just saying like now I've got a bunch of books to read now though. So
before you put them in the free library.
Before I put that's exactly right. I'm gonna read them first, of course. I got a quality control.
Kids.
Well, no, I mean the kids aren't going to be reading your Bret Easton Ellis books anyway. So
they might. I read American Psycho and Saturday Detention.
Okay.
Yes, 4 hours of Saturday Detention.
I don't think I read Rules of Attraction until like 99 after I'd seen the movie.
I got about halfway through the book and I was like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah, the movie was better.
That's weird when the movie is better than the book.
It happened with American Psycho too.
I don't know about that.
Opinions will differ, but I mean, personally,
I think the book is more depraved and creative. The movie,
it's definitely funnier.
It's weirder.
Yeah.
Well, it can't be as vulgar and it can't be as graphic. You can't put like a habit trail up a woman's vagina and have the gerbil or whatever crawl through her intestines and
sure,
all of that crazy, insane shit that goes on in the book. The movie, I rewatched it within the last couple of years and it still holds up. I think I probably like it more now than I did when I was a teenager. It probably helps realizing that what's his face is probably a lot more like Patrick Bateman.
Oh, Christian Bale.
Yeah. Probably a little bit unhinged.
I don't like that he's been kind of co-opted by these right-wing dipshits to be like the Sigma male. Like, you know, you're talking about a guy who like kills people and shit, right?
Or thinks he's killing people.
That's right. Okay, fair enough. But he wants to, and he describes various scenarios all throughout both the narration of the movie and also in the book of some insane shit that he wants to do to people.
The part of the book that really got to me is when he kills the kid at the zoo. I think it's the Central Park Zoo, and acts like he's a doctor after the fact, so it doesn't look weird that he has the kid's blood
on him. Yeah. Well, speaking of books, I have finished one book, started another one, most of the way through it already. I'm on track. I took a bit of a book break, I guess. I got really obsessed with like Animal Well and stopped reading before bed, but now I'm kind of back on my bullshit. I finished a book called Glorious Exploits. It's by this Irish author, Frida Lennon, and Glorious Exploits is a hoot, but it certainly is one of those things where I said Frida Lennon, it's Ferdia Lennon, excuse me. So these two Syracusean guys who were former potters but got laid off from their job at the pottery factory decide that because they're in the quarry in Syracuse, they've captured all these Athenians who recently lost a battle to them. So they've got all these captured people and they're holding them there until they die. So these two potters decide, because they love Euripides, that they're going to get these people to put on a play. They're going to put on Medea for them. And it's bizarre and funny. So it's an Irish writer writing about Greeks in Syracuse. a lot of these Greeks have modern day verbal dialogue that sounds like an Irishman would say it. So it's full of these bizarre little anachronisms, but it's a hoot, man. It's also a love story, and it's a story about redemption and like fathers and sons, but it's also kind of silly. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a really nice book. It manages to do that thing where it's like both historical fiction, also a dramedy. It hits every note. Like it's really, really powerful. I really like that a lot. Found it just at random. I was wandering through the library and saw the cover, which is Euripides with googly eyes. So I was like, okay, I'm interested in this. I read the first couple of pages, like, okay, all right, this is going somewhere. And yeah, I mean, it came out just January this year. It's really, really worth the read. And then I started another book called Do You Remember Being Born? A book that came out last year, but it's super prescient, I think, because it's about a poet who is tasked with collaborating with an AI to write a collaborative poem. So what they would call a long poem. And so they pay her this exorbitant amount of money, and she flies out to California. She's doing this mostly to give her son a down payment on a house so he can be happy with his new fiance, so they can, have this future that she imagined they would never have, because being a poet, it doesn't pay much.
Right.
This big check lands in her lap, and so she flies off to California and then starts interacting with this AI and starts to have this almost existential crisis happening. And the book is gorgeous. It's written in this very florid first-person prose. It all flows beautifully. There's these great bits of dialogue back and forth between the poet and the AI. And it's it's very humanistic in a way that a lot of books that talk about AI, even in fictional senses, don't do.
Right.
Because it's very grounded. It's very much about Marion, the main character, and Charlotte, the AI, are having this back and forth. And that comprises a good chunk of the book. But it's laid out over the course of 7 days. You go there for a week, you write with this AI, and at the end of the 7 days, we're going to release this poem. It's going to be this beautiful thing. By the third day, she's having these existential crises and having this moment with the AI where the AI asks her, do you remember being born? Hence the title of the book.
Yeah.
And she says no, but then the AI is like, well, I do. The book kind of cracks open from there. And fascinating stuff to read. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm most of the way through. I love a book that's whimsical, but also grounded. And this kind of does that, kind of plays in that field. Because the person who's telling you this story is a poet, right?
Yeah.
And so they have this florid language. I almost imagine it as if I'm reading it and I hear, like, I don't know, Kate Blanchett or somebody,
Right.
Or Helen Mirren, even, because it's supposed to be a woman in her 70s, so probably closer to a Judi Dench or a Helen Mirren reading this very florid prose. Boy, what a book! I'm enjoying that quite a bit.
Sounds pretty tight. So last night,
yes, that's right. You went to shoot a show.
Someone over at the pageant asked me to photograph Mr. Marcus King, who is a pretty big name in like the blues guitar world right now. I never shot house for the pageant, but look at this guy. He does. Have you listened to any of his music?
No, that's why I had to look it up, because I'm like, I don't know anything about this guy.
He looks like a guy that could show you like a vape trick,
right?
Right?
Yeah.
He looks like your friend when you were 17. His cool, slightly older cousin that like lives on like the East Coast.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, oh shit, Carter's coming back for Christmas. Yeah. Oh, fuck, man.
I haven't seen him in forever.
Man, we're gonna do some crazy shit. Like everyone's ears perk up when they hear like, oh man,
yeah,
oh your aunt and the Carter coming back for Christmas. Man, it's gonna be fucking wild.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna show us how to like fucking do all kinds of beer can tricks.
That sounds about right.
But he's a third generation blues guitarist.
Yeah, not even 30.
Songwriter. I didn't see him. Unfortunately, I had to leave because I'm still a little early because I'm still doing shit with taking stuff from my apartment to the new place. But I stayed around for a minute and really enjoyed what I got to see. He has an ES335, but has a Vitrola vibrato, which I don't know what that makes it, but also has a Veritone tone selector, which I also don't know what that makes it. because a 335 is just a stop tail dual colorway hollow body Gibson guitar. A 345 has a Bigsby.
Yeah.
But it's a custom shop. But the thing is, what I'm getting at here is it was his grandfather's guitar.
Yeah.
Well, there it is right there.
Yeah. I was looking for photos. Yeah. The 62 ES 345 known as Big Red. Okay. All right.
Oh, so it is a 345. I know 345 is when it has a Bigsby, but I didn't know if it had, because there ain't too many 335s I've ever seen with a Victrola. So you see that little deal in between the knob that has the colored outer ring?
Yeah.
The chicken head knob?
Yeah.
So what you do is you flip that out, and that extends out to near just a couple inches past the bridge.
Uh-huh.
And you press it like a squeeze box towards you, and then that adds the vibrato to whatever's being played.
Wow.
They're really finicky, and they tend to throw your guitar out of tune really quick. So I've seen many guitars with that tremolo system or vibrato system. Very few people actually using it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it seems like you said, if it's finicky and it's going to get you out of tune, then that is not a thing you want to do.
But yeah, he has the original, and there's Gibson did like a custom shop. But I didn't see if he had that with him, but that's kind of like his guitar that he's known for playing. He had an arch top made by some guy named Baker. Mm-hmm. I looked it up. It's like just the base model of this guitar is like $7,000 or $8,000.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a Barry Kessel.
Okay.
Just like, wow, that's a crazy looking guitar. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, wow, that's also crazy expensive. But man, the guy comes out looking like he just stepped out of the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
With a fucking joint in one hand, a blunt with a little cigarello extender. So he had the backwoods.
Yeah, baby.
And like a plastic party cup full of something that must have tasted good.
Oh, I bet.
And he came out there and said thank you, and real polite like, and played some of the best guitar I think I've ever witnessed in a long, long time.
Damn.
Just really impressive. And the guy has quite a voice. You'd think that would be his weakness.
Yeah, because it's usually one or the other.
Yeah.
either you play guitar.
But he's got quite a voice to him. He's known for his guitar playing, but he's a pretty good songwriter as well. Just really like impressed with the guy. And I was the only person photographing, which was interesting. We had a couple video guys and all that, but yeah, I sent stuff off to the tour today, and this is cool to have that opportunity.
Yeah,
another notch on my belt.
Especially somebody who, I mean, he's put out a couple albums, but he's still relatively new to the game, so to speak.
Yeah, he's been on record since I don't even think he's 30.
No, 28.
28, yeah. But he's been on record, playing on record since he was like 10 or 11 or something. I think he was on one of his grandpa's records, playing a little bit. And there's a viral video of him at this really famous guitar shop that I have now instantly forgotten the name of, where it's just like him playing guitar, and he's like a teenager, and Norman's Rare Guitars.
There it is.
I think that's in New York City.
Okay.
But yeah, all the coolest Rare shit. Really surprised you. He's just got a real...
Yeah.
When you talk about guitar tone being all in the fingers, man, just like watching him, and being as close as I was photographing him, just being like, fuck, man, this guy can play. Yeah. And he was doing a lot of stuff, too, that wasn't really traditional.
Sure.
Like, I saw him do some really interesting hybrid picking. Stuff that felt like I couldn't tell, it sounded almost like sweep picking, which is like something you usually associate with like heavy metal.
Yeah, I was thinking like Iron Maiden immediately.
Yeah, but this guy, he never overplayed. For as hard as he was playing, and for as many notes as he was going through, it never felt like I was like listening to Steve Vai, like my ears were getting tired.
Well, that's a relief at least, yeah, because boy, it is definitely easy to hear someone overplay.
Yeah,
especially blues, boy.
Is someone who's worked at Guitar Center a couple times.
Oh yeah,
I've heard a lot of guys. I've had to listen to a lot of motherfuckers that thought they were someone like Marcus King. They sure as shit fucking weren't.
No, and he showed him. He showed him up.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, it was a sold out show. Like, it was just a cool little production.
That's fantastic. Yeah,
over at the pageant. So there's that. I don't know what else I got on the docket. Well, supposed to, Bonnaroo, unfortunately, is a no-go.
Yeah.
Someone forgot to respond to an email.
So it goes, I
So
suppose.
it goes. I mean, fuck it. I mean, everything's so crazy right now for me that I guess it's probably best. But like, I can't say I'm a little. Because I was like, well, we could have gone. I could go for Lala. I could go for Riot Fest or Pitchfork Festival, whatever the fuck it's called. But like the lineups for the amount of effort it would take to get there,
right?
The lineups like Bonnaroo just has it in spades this year. Like Pitchfork Festival is pretty good. Lala's not too bad, but I mean like Bonnaroo had it dialed in this year. Fuck man, I could photograph like Megan Thee Stallion and like Melanie Martinez the same day as well as Yves Tumor, and like that's like some of the stuff that I'm not going to be able to see that I know like won't ever come to St. Louis in a way that I'll probably be able to document it.
Yeah,
like I could probably go Chicago and see that, but St. Louis is such a tough fucking market.
Yeah, because I was looking, my daughter went to Chicago to see Leve recently, and I was like, oh, you know what? I should just take the kids to shows. I'm sure there's somebody that's coming that they'll want to see, and I think Green Day Rancid they might enjoy. They really like what little Green Day I've played for them, and Crane Wives I think is something that my daughter said she wanted to go to, but I'm looking at the calendars and I'm like, there's not a lot coming that we could all go to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it hasn't been announced yet. Again, it's, summer's still like a month away. We've got. Maybe there's something hasn't been finalized. Maybe there's the missing puzzle piece I'm going to find, and it's going to be the perfect thing. But I looked at the calendar and I'm like, okay, well, that's at the Shed. I don't want to go to that. And that's, this and that. I was left unimpressed. Maybe old 97s. I'm sure they're going to enjoy that. Or, maybe...
I'll just go take them to see T-Pain.
That's true. We maybe Smashing Pumpkins. So, I mean, there's a few things, but...
yeah, I mean, like, Shan the Clams are
true.
on the 10th.
That's true.
I'm really tempted about that. I got invited to go photograph Goose, who are playing 2 shows at the Factory next week, but my girlfriend's got that surgery and all that, and I'm sure the lighting show, Goose are kind of like a contemporary.
I was going to say, yeah, they're a little...
I tried listening to them on the way here, and I got like 2 songs in, and I'm like, man, there ain't nothing about this. This is technically wrong, but it doesn't really do anything for me.
I feel that way sometimes about stuff like that, but yeah, I heard that new Goose record, and I was like, there's another band called Geese that are better, so that was very confusing to me at first.
Oh man, it's like how there was Deer Hunter and the Deer Hunter,
and then Deer Hoof.
Yeah, I hate to say I get all 3 of those bands confused.
Same. I can never remember which one's which.
I don't know.
Band of Horses and Horse the Band, 2 different bands. Fuck. Well, I think it's about time we tell the people where to find us online, Brian. Where can they find all of your various things that you're doing, and also send you death threats and or recipes?
Oh, if you can send me a recipe for a death threat. Preferably
get AI to write it. Yeah.
Yes, AI derived forms of self-unaliving.
We're not on TikTok. You don't have to say that.
In Minecraft. Yeah, you can find me on most social media platforms as iShotGuidibord, ISHOTGUIDBORD. You can find me on Instagram at a music photographer. If you want to check out some photos and words, go to a music photographer. We want to check out my photography portfolio. It's assholemusicphotographer.com. We want to check out the only good media website left in St. Louis. That's theartsstl.com. Some really great photos taken by Jen Ruff, I believe, of Knocked Loose last week at the pageant. Yeah, I heard that show was fucking feral.
That is one that I'm really ashamed that I missed. Yeah.
I'm kind of bummed I missed it too, but I saw enough like stuff on Instagram and social media that I'm like, yeah, you know what? And like I texted Burr about it. He's like, it was fucking insane.
Oh yeah.
I talked to someone that worked the show, and they're like, dude.
Oh, I bet.
They were trying to keep people from like jumping on the stage.
Oh.
And after a while, it's just like, well, they've got 20 seconds to figure out how they were going to make it work. You've got 3 seconds to react. So like, apparently they were being told like, if they get past you, don't worry. The band has their own security on stage that will take care of things.
So the artsstl.com.
Artsstl.com.
Okay.
Some really great photos of Knocked Loose. Trying to think what else has been on there recently. It's a little quiet at this moment. It's a little quiet in St. Louis, but it's going to pick up real soon.
Yeah, we're going to
getting into the summer. It's going to fucking rev up, man. We're going to run a dirt bike on that pussy. Anyways, the RSSTL.com, where we run all the dirt bikes and all the pussies all the time.
That's right.
God.
All of them.
Jason, where can they find you?
Oh boy, you can find me online. Most places that there is a video crime, well, chances are that's going to be me. That's VIDEOCRIME, with the exception of TikTok and Instagram. That's Laser Goose CEO, laser with an S, because I know how to fucking spell it. Right. You can find the show itself. Well, the best way to get in contact with us is to give us a call, 314-246-9766, 314-AHOY POO, if you like to spell with your telephone. If you want to shoot us an email, well, you can do that too. That's jason@48minutesdogsbarking.com or Brian with a Y at 48minutesdogsbarking.com. Be sure to send him any and all Daniel Pearl-related videos that you can find, regardless of quality. And support the show, patreon.com/48minutesdogs. That gets you our weekly show called Thanks I Hate It, which is the post-show hangout where we kind of go deep on some stuff and every once in a while just kind of dick around. There's some really funny episodes up there right now. We had the Homer Simpson weed the one we talked to marijuana Simpsons. Yeah, that was the most recent one. We're gonna do one shortly on some scams.
Yeah.
If we get our 10 members to the $10 level, we'll do a 90-minute commentary track on a Japanese puke fetish video called Garo Monster Home Delivery.
Again, I've spent most of my adult life making enemies, and we can't make this happen.
I don't think they've heard the show. I think we need to start texting the show to them. Yeah,
I'll start texting and Paul.
Oh yeah.
I got a couple ex-bosses.
Oh yeah.
I was actually thinking about, once my girlfriend gets her organs removed from the surgery, it's like, can we give Foe the organs so I can send them to the guy that fucking fired me?
Hell yeah. Well, that about does for the program. As we always say at this time, namaste, good luck, give mommy a good gut fucking, and eat the knife!